Hello and welcome to the Year 8 Options Information Evening presentation. This recorded presentation aims to provide comprehensive information about the options process as you make these important choices for the next steps in your education. Alongside this presentation, we're delighted to be holding our face-to-face options evening this evening. If you've been unable to join us, we hope that you find the information here useful as you choose your options. Alongside this presentation on the options page of our website, you will also find a presentation about the Abbey College Scholars Programme, as well as subject-specific presentations with information about what's involved in each course at Key Stage 4, a copy of the options booklet, and from today, the 24th of February, the options form for submitting your choices. So what are the options exactly? Well, the options subjects, in conjunction with the core curriculum that we offer at Abbey College, form the next steps in your education as you enter Key Stage 4. They're made up of both GCSE subjects and also BTEC awards, each of which carry the same value. Option subjects are fantastic because they provide a doorway to subjects that you may wish to study at post-16 when you join the sixth form. And they give you an opportunity to study areas that interest you or help you achieve what you need to for your future career. As well as assemblies with Mr. Mann and myself, you have over the last 2 weeks been visiting different option subjects to get a taste of what studying these subjects looks like at Key Stage 4. At the end of half term, we sent option booklets home for you to read with your parents. I really hope that you've started those in earnest. Please don't worry if you weren't here for that, because we've saved your booklet for you, and you can also download it from today from the options page of the school website. This evening, of course, is our options information evening, and that the options form goes live. Please don't fill it in straight away though. The options process has been designed to give you time to fully research the subjects that you're interested in, so that when you submit your choices, you have done so after fully considering all of your options. The most important date here is the 4th of March, which is why it's in red. On this date, the options form will close, so please make sure that you've completed your form by then. As well as studying for your option subjects at Key Stage 4, we have an ambitious core curriculum at Abbey College in which each student will study the subjects that make up the English Baccalaureate or EBAC. And there's lots more information about the EBAC award in the options booklets. I encourage you to go and have a look at that. The subjects that you will study from your core curriculum are as follows. So you'll study 2 GCSEs in English, the English Literature and English Language. You'll study GCSE Maths and have an opportunity to take an extra GCSE in Statistics during Year 10. There will be triple science available for all students, so you'll take Biology, Chemistry and Physics, 1 GCSE in Faith and Ethics, 1 for Spanish, and then either History or Geography, and these make up part of your first option choice, which I'll talk to you about shortly. You'll also study PE and Social Studies. There's no GCSE attached to that, but they form part of our core curriculum, and you'll have an opportunity to join the Scholars Programme and earn an additional half a GCSE or take GCSE Citizenship. You'll find a copy of this slide in the options booklet for your information, but I wanted to spend a moment going over it with you now. As I mentioned earlier, you, for your first preference, will have an opportunity to select either history or geography, and that's because these subjects go towards the English Baccalaureate. So first one is history or geography. Now the other two are the key option areas. So you've got block A that I've circled at the top with block B, and you can see there is a large selection of subjects in either block. You are not able to choose 2 subjects from the same block, unfortunately, because the timetabling constraints that we operate under mean that these are blocked against each other. So you'll choose 1 subject from block A and 1 from block B. Now you'll see at the bottom, Combined Cadet Force sits in both blocks. So that's great because that means that you can choose that one regardless. However, that's not in addition to. So if, for example, you chose Enterprise in block A, then you could choose Combined Cadet Force in block B, Or for example, if you choose music in block B, you could still choose combined cadet force in block A. If, for example, you've chosen history and you think, actually, I'd really like to study geography, well, that's not a problem because you can select geography in block B. But either way, you can only select one from each of those two option blocks. And when considering your subjects and which ones you're going to choose, do think about trying to achieve a broad and balanced curriculum. And what I mean by that is taking into account when you've read the options booklet and all of the conversations you've had with your teachers. For example, if you take all academic subjects, are the exam constraints going to be very large for that? Do you want to balance that off perhaps with a more artistic or creative subject? So it's a really good idea to try and achieve a mix if you can. Now, when considering making your option choices, you should try and think about balancing the following factors. The areas of interest that you have, the subjects that interest you, it might be some that you do already or some that you've just tried out in your taster week. The enjoyment that you had when you undertook those, or the enjoyment that you think you'll get from the course as you move forward with it through GCSE and potentially at post 16. Making sure that it's broad and balanced, as I mentioned just now, so that you're not all necessarily academic or all in the arts. And also any career aspirations and what you need in order to get you to your next destination, your next steps. What is it that you need to be able to get there? So the next few slides are some do's and don'ts that I'd like to share with you that might illustrate to you where perhaps students in the past may have found things difficult and hopefully will help you as you make your choices. So first of all, please do remember that all courses are of an equal standard and value. So whether it's a GCSE or a BTEC, if it gets you where you need to go, it doesn't matter what the course is. Choose courses that you're interested in and that you're likely to enjoy, and also that offer that breadth as we've talked about in the previous slide. Does it match with your interests already, or perhaps talents that you already have? Think about areas that you believe you're likely to achieve success. Now that doesn't mean that you won't because you haven't done it before, but if you're already good at something and you enjoy it, that might be an area that you want to pursue. Does it challenge you? Does it offer you an opportunity to grow? Now, choose course as well that fits with your future needs. I mentioned this already about your next steps and your destinations. Our core curriculum provides breadth that you need and a solid groundwork there. However, in an area of interest to you, if you can develop that solid groundwork there as well, then it will help you tremendously if you decide to take that up post 16. Remember that you're starting Key Stage 4 in Year 9 and the course will last for 3 years. You need to put the research in now because you won't be able to change your mind in Year 10. So really think carefully about the options that you'd like to take. Do have a look in the options booklet or talk to your teachers about the methods of assessment and choose a subject where you believe you might be able to obtain a high level of marks. You can find out more about careers you might be interested in. Now, you're not expected to have all of the answers with your career at this stage. However, a discussion with the Careers Hub team and also you're working on your Unifrog profile, which I know you've been doing with Mr. Pearmain and Mr. Tichenau, those give you the opportunity to have a look at careers of interest, and actually framing your options around that is a really, really good idea. Talk to your teachers, as I've said, talk to the careers team. They will be there to support you, but also talk to your parents. They've been there before and they won't be able to make the decision for you, but they certainly will have a perspective to be able to offer you and to guide you as you make those choices. Also, be realistic in your choices and bear in mind any commitments that you may have outside of school. Now, what should you not do? Well, don't choose subjects just because your friends are choosing them. It's important to remember that they might not be in your group when you go in to study this at GCSE or BTEC. Also, don't choose a subject just because at the moment you think, I really like that teacher. You can't be sure that you'll have that same teacher when you take the course at Key Stage 4. If you're already taking a subject that you don't enjoy, then don't take that as an option. Now, just because that might fit in with your career needs and you think, actually, that's where I need to be, I have to take it, but I don't enjoy it, that's not a good reason to take it. And because your career aspirations may change many, many times throughout the journey of your Key Stage 4. As well as this, don't base your choices on what your parents or carers choose. Now, I mentioned earlier that yes, of course, their points of view are very important and they'll offer a perspective that will be beneficial to you. But this is your course. You will be studying this for the next 3 years. And whilst we encourage you to listen to what your parents have to say and take on board advice, it is your decision at the end of the day. So don't then choose a new subject route without researching what is required throughout the course. Do speak to the people that are here to help you, the Careers Hub, all of the teachers, the sessions that you've taken on already, and also the options evening, whether that's through the blended version on the website or in person at school this evening. So just make sure that you put in that extra research before you make those choices. So what's next? Well, by now you should have already done this, as I said earlier now, but if not, make sure that you have logged into Unifrog and that you know how to access it. There is a plethora of information on there supporting you with your options as well as careers of interest. So time spent researching those is never wasted. Speak to your teachers about areas of study that interest you. Do they marry up with the options that are available? Speak to Mrs. Pollard and Mrs. Neville in the Careers Hub about careers of interest, and they will also be able to guide you if you're having any issues with Unifrog. And also start building a list of subjects that you're interested in studying so that you can start to whittle down what your choices will be. From this evening, the options form is available on the options page of the school website. Now, it's very important, please, that you complete the form only once. So in the options booklet, you will find a page where you can record the options that you're choosing and keep that for your records so that when you're putting in your option choices on the form, you have done that after thinking things through carefully and it's only a one-time entry, please. So this is what it will look like as you open up the options form, and it will ask you a series of questions including your name, of course, your form, and so on and so forth. Other things it will ask you to select your options. Now, of course, as I mentioned earlier, you have a choice first of all for your humanities subjects, so you'll be asked to choose whether you would like to take history or geography, and then it will ask you which subject you would like to take from each block. You won't have a choice to take more than one from each block, so if you've chosen one, it won't allow you to select another. What is important, however, is that you choose a reserve. So that reserve subject is very, very important because if, for example, the course is oversubscribed or for some reason we're not able to run the course, then we have another opportunity to give you an area of interest that you have chosen. So please make sure that you put down a reserve. What is important here is that you only choose one. So we're not asking for a reserve from either block, just one reserve from either block A or block B. Okay? Now also, after selecting your option choices on the options form, you will also have the opportunity, if you wish, to apply for the Scholars Programme. I'm going to give you a little bit more information about that now, but also do bear in mind that there is another presentation about the Scholars Programme that you will also find on the website on the options page. In order to apply for the Scholars Programme, you will need to complete further information, predominantly around the area of research that interests you, and also write a statement or personal statement or a letter of application to tell us why you want to join the Scholars Programme. On the form, you'll see this diagram that you've been already shown during assembly of the areas, the pathway areas that are available for the Scholars Programme. And what the form will ask you to do is to choose an area, if you wish to apply, of interest to you. So it could be STEM, it could be the creative arts, language and culture, whichever you feel best fits the area that you're interested in studying. It will then ask you to give a slight overview, a brief overview of the area of research that you're keen to look at, so that we can allocate you in the right direction with a supervisor and a mentor. As well as letting us know about the area of research that you're interested in and the scholar's pathway that you feel that best fits into, we're also asking students who are applying to complete a personal statement of application, or indeed a letter, that is absolutely fine, outlining what you feel, how you feel you would make a good contribution to the Scholars Programme. And you can see here, this is a screenshot, so you can see here, these are the kinds of things that you're going to be asked on the form, the reasons that you're interested in researching your chosen topic, why you feel you should be awarded a place on the Scholars Programme, what skills or attributes or personality traits do you feel you already have that would help you become a successful Abbey College scholar, and what do you feel you need to develop further. So these are areas that you might want to think about before you submit your information on the form. This is something that you could perhaps work on with your parents to put that application statement together or that letter together. If you need any support with that, please go and visit Mrs. Pollard in the Careers Hub, and she will support you accordingly, or you can talk to your form tutor. And that brings us to the end of the options evening presentation, and I just wanted to revisit the timeline that I shared with you earlier, and in particular this note in red, the 4th of March. This is the deadline, remember, ladies and gentlemen, for completing your options form that you will find from this evening on the website. A reminder, please, we're asking you to fill the form in only once, and so therefore please think carefully before you start completing your options form, and use the booklet to record the information that you need to put on the form. And now it's time for you to take the information that you have been given and to really put some thought into that, and to complete your research using the options booklet, the videos that are available on the options page on the school website, through talking to teachers at the options information evening this evening, or indeed in school, as well as Mr. Mann, myself and the careers team, and of course your form tutor, talking to your parents, getting their point of view on things that perhaps they might be able to offer to you in terms of the choices that you're going to make. And then ultimately it's time for you to plan your decisions. Remember, the deadline is the 4th of March. You have plenty of time. Think carefully before submitting your form. I wish you all a very lovely evening. Thank you very much.